Baldwin once said, "Not everything that you face will change, but nothing will change unless you face it." I am Yvette C. Owens. As a speaker, international best-selling author, leadership consultant, and coach, I encourage and empower leaders to embrace and lean into resistance, especially during the time of change, and create a culture that is thriving for all. By embracing the resistance, we actually unlock the potential of our teams to not only accept change, but also to invest in the change. Consider the caterpillar and the morphosis that it goes into the butterfly. There is tons of changes that happens there, from the egg to the larva to the butterfly. But I want to focus on when it's in the caterpillar, when it's in the cocoon. It's in that state that there is so much going on and so much transformation happening. And to the bypasser, one coming alongside who just sees or might not even see that cocoon hanging there, it would appear that nothing is happening. But because of the preparation that happened as that caterpillar was there, and it was eating and doubling and tripling its size just by it was eating to prepare for the time that it would be in the cocoon, it's transforming into this beautiful butterfly. When change happens, whether it's self-imposed to the leadership or whether it comes to us, leaders need to be able to step into that space. And regardless of what it appears to on the outside, that we can also inform our team, encourage our team, empower our team, leverage our team, engage our teams to change, to lean into the resistance, leaning into what's happening, leaning into where we're going. And I tell you, it's not always easy because not everyone understands where we're headed. You may be that leader who not only do you not really clear on where it's going or why it's happening, but your leadership may be unclear. And when we're in that ambiguity space, we need to come together as opposed to polarizing. And so we lean into the change, we collaborate, we decide how we're going to move from point A to point B. So as we are coming into leaning more into the change, making the momentum and trying to move our teams forward, I want to encourage you that we need to make sure that we identify where that change is coming from and how it impacts us as leaders. I want to share a story with you why this is so important. There was a time that as a leader, leading not only my team of 20 project managers, as well as leading my home, being a single mom and leading my daughter and what we were doing and bringing her up, that I was impacted by going through and I was trying to get to another level. I had served my time just like that caterpillar, eating, and I was actually taking on new assignments. My performance reviews were always positive. I was always doing and in the right spaces. And so I thought it was my time. It's my time to step into the new. It's my time to go forward. And what had happened as I went into the interview, I sat down with the interviewer who was actually my seniors leader, and she said, "You're not for the job." Not for the job? I paid my dues, I served my time, bonuses were coming, performance reviews were salary increases, and I'm not good enough for the job? That was like a sucker punch in my belly, and so I had to compose myself, get up and say, why am I now just finding out about this? What has happened? To my surprise and disbelief, it was, well, I'm telling you now. Lean into the resistance. And why did I have to choose to do that now? Because I had a team full of people who were depending on me to lean into that. I had business partners who were depending on me to keep my project managers moving forward. And so there is a weight that comes on leaders that if we don't have the proper support, we could be that dangling cocoon that if it's not positioned properly, could be subject to prey coming along or someone just mistakenly knocking us down. But we need to move from there to the adult butterfly. So not only we can soar, but our teams can soar. And that's why it's important to lean into change. And so how did I do that? I called a friend. I said, look, this is what's happening. I thought I was in a good position to get this new next elevation. And this is what I heard. She said, you needed to find out how you're really received in the organization. Because my team, who is supporting business partners, needed me to be in a place, a healthy place. And that's why I encourage leaders to lead from your soul. Lead from a place, a healthy place, and you cannot do that if you're not in a good position. And so I encourage you to, one, identify what that change is that you have to go through. What does it mean to you? I had to understand, what is this really meaning to me as a person, as the leader of not only the people, but people on my team, but people in my home. What did it mean to me being an employee in that organization for 20 some years, doing the very best I can, and even being rewarded for it, but yet someone can come into the organization within a few years, just a few years of time in the organization, and literally strip away or attempt to strip away what I had worked so long for. Metamorphosis happening in that cocoon. But because I served my time, because I did the things that I did, and the only way I knew that, I had to go out and test what was going on. So I found allyship and advocacy in and around the leaders that I had served before, leaning in to the resistance as opposed to running away. Because running away would not serve me well, would not serve my team well. Finding advocacy in people who did not look like me, people who did not sound like me, but they were there to assure me that here are the next steps. So now I know what this change means to me. Now I know how to structure it. Now I know how to position it even with my team. Moving forward, gaining momentum. And so now as I'm communicating, I'm not coming from a place of victim, but I'm coming from a place of a victor. Victor in a space that was really intended to hurt me and harm me. Really intended to steal and take away from my livelihood, my reputation in the organization. But I wasn't afraid of change. And if I didn't face it, if I was afraid that senior level, this individual was going forward and leading throughout the organization in a way that was not healthy for me, and if I didn't go face it, I wouldn't have known that it wasn't as damaging at all, let alone damaging as I thought it was. So as leaders, here's what I suggest that you do in change. One, again, identify who you are and what you're doing and what this change means to you. Two, be able to communicate well how you are going to move forward. Be honest, integrous. Be accurate about sharing with the people who are going to be impacted by the change to make sure they understand what this means to them. Three, don't be consistent with the vision and the goal. Too often we expand the scope, we change it because we think we need to do something different. No, stick with the plan. Lean into the plan. And fourth, involve the people who are going to be impacted by it. Remember, there is a language there's behaviors, and there's solutions. And as leaders, we need to always keep those in flow and in balance. Language, behaviors, and solutions. Language, behaviors, and solutions. Thank you. I'm Yvette C. Owens. I'm known in my business as a business ambassador, and I'm here to help you, help your teams lean into the resistance, lean into the change, so they not only accept the change, but they can also invest in the change.